Never that I imagined that it'd be like this coming back.
And here comes Junior. Breaking ball under the glove of Sexton on into right field. And the Reds have runners at first and third. That same sweet swing, huh? They still got it. That baby is going to be out there in the bullpen.
Get out of town. 10-0 Cincinnati. His second homer of the night, his 5th RBI of the night. And the hits just keep on coming. I'll have that to go as well. Well, Ken Griffey Jr. returns, and his ball club just unloaded on the Mariners tonight.
Never that I imagined that it'd be like this coming back. I spent 11 years here and 11 wonderful years here. I met my beautiful wife. Two out of my 3 kids were born here. This place will be home. You know, everybody talks about 95 and me running around the bases. But to tell you the truth, it was Jay. He was in there every day in the locker room telling everybody, screw the wild card, we can win this. You know, we were all young, didn't really know any better. And Jay said, let's do this. And I was like, all right, let's do it. You know, so, and Edgar was the motor behind it because, you know, he protected me. And, you know, I owe it all to these guys. I mean, these guys right here, you know, these guys have been my supporting cast since 1989, on and off the field. You know, I love Jay and Edgar to death. Without those 2 guys, who knows where I'd be, because these guys mean so much to me. And last, you know, I just want to thank you guys. I mean, being in the outfield, you know, supporting us when we were terrible, you know, not giving up on us, and then comes, you know, the 95 season, and you guys are here 40,000 deep every night rooting us on. I don't know too many guys over there. You know, I haven't played against too many guys, you guys, but every day I look in the box score to see what you guys do. I mean, I get a couple phone calls from Rick letting me know what's going on, but, you know, y'all just keep pushing, because this city is all yours. You know, I didn't realize how much I miss being in Seattle. flying in from Oakland. Flying in from Oakland, coming in over the mountains, how pretty it was. Landing at Boeing Field, driving up 5, passing the ballpark. Brought back so many great memories of being here. Man, last, I'd just like to say thank you for allowing me to go out there and do what I do.
All eyes are on number 3. And number 3, he was wearing number 30, but in salute to his dad, but his dad's no longer with the organization. And so he just said, well, I'm going to take number 3 since he's no longer with the organization. His dad's not here tonight, but his family is. As Norris Harper takes a strike, we are underway. This kid had a great minor league season last year, hit .347, the highest batting average in Louisville franchise history. And that pitch is hit into the gap into left center field, and flying over, actually kind of tippy-toeing over, not really flying, is Ichiro to make the easy catch on Norris Harper's fly ball. And Brandon Phillips, who has been struggling with the bat. Well, the Reds have really been struggling as a team. Let's not kid ourselves. They're in the cellar in the National League Central, 13.5 back of the Milwaukee Brewers with a record of 28-45. Brandon Phillips hitting .271. Fairbairn, that misses a little bit outside. Ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Mike Winters is the man calling balls and strikes. Brian Runge at first base. Mark Wegner at second. And Bruce Fleming, he's going to hang him up after this year, is around at third. That breaking ball hits him on the leg. So Brandon Phillips hobbling on his way down to first base. And here comes Junior. At the age of 37, 582 home runs, one away from Mark McGwire. 398 of those home runs hit here in Seattle. Most of them over across the street in a building that no longer exists. But that banner hanging at 398 when he departed here and headed for Cincinnati, where he's hit 189 more. Been such a turnover in Cincinnati that Junior is now the longest tenured Red. Nobody's been on Cincinnati's ball club longer than Junior. They want to see Fairbairn throw to the plate. Harper can run. Got excellent speed. Breaking ball under the glove of Sexton on into right field. And the Reds have runners at first and third, with nobody out to start the fray. That same sweet swing, huh? They still got it.
It's a classic, Dave. It never changes. You can see how simple it really is, but nobody can seem to duplicate it.
So that quickly by Richie Sexton at first base. And here comes a guy Mariner fans are familiar with. When he was with Baltimore, used to kill him, Jeff Conine. And a strike at the knees, 0-1. And hitting .297 with the Cincinnati Reds.
Ryan so far has done a nice job at throwing strikes. If he can get something down, maybe get a double play and get out of this inning.
A changeup that's popped off the first base side, and Sexton will run out of room. That's Billy Hatcher, the first base coach for the Cincinnati Reds, visiting with Junior. Mike Berry's the third base coach. And a couple of other Mariner connections on this ball club on the bench. Certainly Jerry Narron, the manager, played here in Seattle twice. And the pitching coach was an original Mariner, Dick Pohl. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. And there's Gabby, as I used to call him, because he never talked much, Jerry Narron. His bench coach is a famous Yankee, Bucky Dent. Bucky blank Dent in Boston. And that's fouled off the first base side into the mezzanine section. The famous home run that he hit in 1978 in a playoff game against the Red Sox to propel the Yankees into the World Series. And that's off the first base side, now to play.
So far we can see that Ryan's throwing a lot of strikes. 10 pitches, 7 of them for strikes. I think one of the things that I like about this young man is he doesn't seem to get rattled, and this is a pretty big night and a lot of things are going on around him. So you had to wonder whether he's going to have the ability to focus on what he was doing, and so far that looks like he has. If you were talking about the club and the struggles that they've had being in last place, there's a lot of things where they're towards the bottom of the league and hitting, pitching, defense, all of those things. But the one thing they do is hit home runs. They have hit 100 home runs so far as a club.
Conine fouls that away. The division leaders, the Angels, hosting the Pirates tonight down in Anaheim. $44,000 thought that was a strike. One man did not. He's the only man that counts.
That was close enough.
Not for Mike Winters.
And that's the one that counts, right? Absolutely right.
And a high pop-up into right field, and Guillen is there. Will Phillips dare try? He's going to try. Here's the throw to the plate, and it's up the line a little bit. That was quite deep. Not really even with the man with the golden arm out there in right field a chance to get Phillips at the plate. So a sacrifice fly, and Cincinnati jumps off to an early 1-0 lead. Adam Dunn will be the hitter. Look at that man at first base. Look at that. Career numbers. Member of the all-century team. RBIs, doubles, steals, average. It all adds up to Cooperstown. And a breaking ball in the dirt gets away from Jojima. So a wild pitch will send that man with those numbers down to second base.
Ryan needs to be careful here. Junior with his 19 home runs is third, but Adam Dunn has 20 of them. That's what this guy does. Hits a lot of home runs.
Shift on for Adam Dunn. Only one man on the left side of the infield, Beltre. Adam Dunn last week's player of the week, which he hit 500. Had 4 home runs. Big man can hit him a mile. Breaking ball on the inside corner. His name has been mentioned in different arenas as a trade bait by the Cincinnati Reds. A trading deadline still some time away, the 31st of July. Breaking ball fouled again over toward the Mariner dugout. 2-2. Just missed.
Well, he was behind in the count earlier. He threw a breaking ball. 3-2. I doubt that he wants to throw a fastball here. Probably throw him a breaking ball. Something away from him.
Popped up, and this is going to again make its way back into the jam-packed arena. This place is sold out tonight. They're expecting around 44,000 for the return of Junior. Now 37 years of age. He will not be 38 until November. 3-2 pitch to Dunn. Wow, I guess a little high. So 2 on now with with 2 out. And Edwin Encarnacion will be the hitter. Got a long swing.
And for Ryan, that's something that we've seen from him being effective, is trying to throw some strikes early in counts and then start working off the edges.
Too far outside. Got quick hands at the plate. Very much a free swinger, however. Two. One in, 2 on, 2 out, and a 1-0 lead. Encarnacion reaches for that change and pops it out of play. Just inside. Fairbairn can't help but be caught up in all the excitement here this evening. Perhaps a little overhyped out there on the mound.
I think I would agree with you on that, Dave. Your whole routine gets a little bit, I don't know, messed up from the time you show up to the ballpark, knowing what's going to be happening.
That change again is foul back and out of play.
You try to focus on everything, but especially for younger players, I think sometimes it's a little more difficult to do that, because you forget there's actually a ball game that needs to be played. The Mariners winning their last series would like to win this series too against a club they probably should handle, but to do that, they're going to have to continue to pitch well, which they've done the last 2 nights.
27 already, our Dodge pitch count here in the first inning for Fairbairn. And that's inside and low. Ball 3, 3-2. Another full count. So the runners get to take off now. There they go. And he went after ball 4. That was high and outside.
Well, you said he was a free swinger. He's done a pretty good job to get this count back full, but I don't think he's a guy that wants to walk a lot. It looks like he's ready to hack. Ryan throwing an off-speed pitch up there, trying to get him out.
This will be the 9th pitch to Edwin Encarnacion. And again, he puts it right back behind home plate into the stands.
see he's worked both sides of the plate. All around the plate, too. Got to be frustrating to throw that many pitches and not have one of them put in play for an out yet.
And again fouled it back, so he's had 10 thrown to him.
See Junior's getting a workout on that 3-2 count.
And he lost him inside. What an at-bat for Edwin Encarnacion. So the sacks are full of Reds. Baseball's first professional team back in 1876, the Cincinnati Red Stockings. Fairbairn has had a 9-pitch count to Conine, 7-pitch count to Dunn, and 11-pitch count to Encarnacion. And here's Alex Gonzalez, the former Red Sox and Florida shortstop, and also out to the mound. Mariner pitching coach. Rafi Chavez on his way back to the dugout, but he's again throwing a lot of pitches.
Well, 32 of them so far, and I think the one good thing for Mike is he can rest a little bit easier with the job that the starters have done the last 2 nights. The bullpen should be ready to go if he needs to go to them a little bit earlier tonight.
Alex Gonzalez takes in the dirt. There's Junior at third base. Adam Dunn at second. Edwin Encarnacion over at first. And that's pulled down the left field line and deep, and back on the ball is Ibanez to not make the catch. He can't make it, and it's going to clear him off. Here comes Edwin Encarnacion in to score on a bases clearing double by Alex Gonzalez, and it is 4-0 Cincinnati.
See Ryan falls behind the count and has to throw a fastball in the middle of the plate. Raul makes a nice effort trying to catch this, but he had a chance. You can see it's just out of the outreached arm of Raul. Nice effort there. By the time it bounces and comes back and he picks it up, everybody's going to score.
Well, here comes Josh Hamilton, the former #1 of #1s by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in '99, like Junior was by the Mariners in '87. A young man that has had his demons, dealing with drugs, and all of a sudden back in the big leagues with the Cincinnati Reds. And we are told maybe has the best throwing arm in the National League. Out of baseball for 3 years as he struggled in and out of rehab clinics. Kid from North Carolina. To the count.
He was a big story in spring training, making his comeback, and then really the best thing that could have happened to him did, and that was April. He had a tremendous April, and it solidified him in the lineup.
Back Jerry Naren's brother John. He's kind of his babysitter. Everywhere he goes, Josh Hamilton goes, Naren goes. He's with him on the road, at home. Now the left-hander is ready. And punched foul.
Make no mistake about it. They don't do that for everybody. This kid must be tremendously talented if they're willing to make that kind of effort. Give him a second chance. and try to keep him on the straight and narrow, because that just doesn't happen for everyone.
And a foul at the plate. 40 pitches for Fairbairn. And he struck him out, and what was a ball up around his eyes that time. The inning is over, but 4 big ones come in for the Cincinnati Reds on only 2 hits. And they have an early 4-0 lead. It's turned out to be a very lovely evening here before a packed house, sold out house here at Safeco Field. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Let's look at the lineups, the Mariner lineup.
Okay, you can see Ichiro's leading off. He's been hot, no question about it. Beltre, Ibanez, Guillen, Jojima, Sexton, Bedro, Betancourt, and Willie Bloomquist getting the start hitting ninth. Our Rico scouting report on Aaron Harang. You can see he's pitched well in his last 2 outings. Mariners have beat him, but his ERA is very good, and left-handers have a tough time against him. The guys that are behind him today, you see Hopper, Hamilton, Griffey in right field, Encarnacion, Gonzalez, Phillips, Conine at first, Ross behind the plate, and Aaron Harang is on the mound.
So here is Ichiro now, stepping in to lead it off with a 16-game hitting streak. And a strike on the outside corner while Harang was with the A's. Ichiro never had a hit off of him. He's 0 for 10 against Aaron Harang. Big 6'7" right-hander. And a swing and a foul at the plate. Picked up from the A's, along with a right-handed pitcher by the name of Joe Valentine, for the guy that's playing right field tonight for the Mariners, Jose Guillen, back in July of 2003. Still 2 strikes.
The Mariner offense are going to have their work cut out for them tonight. Look at the Reds, and they've struggled pitching-wise, but Aaron Harang has not. You guys don't want to give up too many more runs.
Nice little slider, backdoor slider right on the outside corner.
See either one of them hit one out of the stadium?
No, I saw Beltre hit one into the upper deck way in left center field.
Seeing what's typical of Aaron Harang, 6 pitches, 6 strikes.
Wastes one in the dirt. Harang, San Diego kid. And that's to deep center field. Back on the ball is Josh Hamilton to the track, and the wall bangs into the wall, goes down, hangs on to the baseball. Outstanding catch by Hamilton right up against the wall. So that was a bit Griffey-esque, was it not?
I've seen him run into the wall a number of times. I know you've seen it a lot more than I have, Dave, but nice play by the young man. Junior out in right field, I'm sure appreciates it.
And Raul Ibanez is the hitter. 1-0. Well, he is a strike throwing machine. Pirates have taken an early 1-0 lead over the Angels in the second inning. That's foul back. Meanwhile, the Mets beat the A's this afternoon 9-1, or this evening, I should say. Did he go? Yep, according to the man who's made many calls, said, "You're out of there." Ibanez is belly aching, but Mr. Fleming said, "Son, you're out of there. You went around." So we go to the second inning. Play still with the Reds leading at 4. Our Banner Bank building the future. Note Ken Griffey Jr. How much did we know that he was a huge building of the future note in his first at bat at the Kingdom back in 1989. David Ross, the catcher, a strike on him now. And the change outside. That's one of Fairbairn's biggest weapons, and he seems to be having problems with the strike zone on it. That's his breaking ball and missing inside. He's falling behind almost every hitter.
Well, and that's the thing. He wants to get to his changeup, but to get a hitter to chase something like that, the changeups he's throwing for one are up, but to get him to chase, he has to throw strikes and get him in that mode of having to swing, and that's when you can see him work off the edges. But if he tries to work off the edges early, there's no incentive for the guys to want to chase those pitches because they're kind of looking for something in the middle of the plate.
Six degrees cooler this evening than it was last night. 72 last night, 66 this evening. Full count. And you just can't keep going 3-2 on every hitter. And he lost it. It's already 3 bases on balls. And the number 9 hitter at that, hitting under 200.
Ryan's a control pitcher, and he has 3 walks, 1 hit batter. A wild pitch. And he's coming up on 50 pitches with nobody out in the second. Been a tough night for him so far. He needs to get things zeroed in a little bit, see if he can find something.
And there's a bunt. Quickly up the first baseline, and that's going to be safe. Norris Hopper, kid we were told can fly, and he proves it. So he's right back into the boiling cauldron here in the second with 2 on and nobody out.
You can see Richie doing everything that he possibly can, stretching out, but no chance with the speed of Hopper.
Might expect another bunt here. Brandon Phillips with the junior on deck, one might think. No, he's not. It's a hot shot off the glove of Betancourt into center field, and it's going to pick up David Ross. And just like that, it is 5-0 Cincinnati. A base hit. Brandon Phillips, his 35th RBI. And here he is. Junior, that hot smash under Richie Sexton's glove at first base in the first inning, got things rolling. Sent Phillips to third. Strike one call. And another one to Sexton. He goes down to shortstop. Betancourt's throw back, and it's by Sexton, and another run will come in to score. Wow, another error by Betancourt. So Norris Hopper comes in to score on the error by Betancourt. And add another one up there. It is 6-0.
You can see on that everything looked good on Richie's end of it. Gives him a good feed right over the bag, and he just threw it wide of the first base.
And what was that all about? He stepped off and pointed. And Hargrove, I guess, is all over the home plate umpire, Mike Winters. And Mike better watch out.
Well, it might be too late for him to watch out.
Think he might have already been given the
Yeah,
Evo?
I think so.
Okay, so he has been thrown out of the ball game, and we'll catch the rest of it in his office, arguing the ball and strike calls of Mike Winters. He's going to get his money's worth. Whatever the fine is going to be, he's going to get it. And gives him another blast before walking away, and John McLaren will take over the ball club. So Hargrove, his work is done for the night. Let's have a look at this pitch. And it was down, it appeared to be down low. And the delivery's outside. Ball two balls and no strikes. And there he goes.
I'll guarantee you
3-0.
that he got word that Aaron Harang ended up getting a few pitches that were off the plate a little bit, and Ryan tonight hasn't gotten anything at all. So he just was probably making a point of that. Mike Winters didn't want to hear it.
And a strike. Big tall Tennessean Jason Davis gets up and starts to throw. And another walk. That's 4 of them. And here's a guy that can hit him a mile, who was walked in the first inning. Adam Dunn. Still only 1 man out here in the second.
I've only seen Ryan in a couple of starts, but walking batters has not been his problem. Just 2 walks in 6 2/3, and then 1 walk in 7 1/3.
Here comes Rafi Chavez out to the mound. "57 pitches by the left-hander from Cleveland, Ohio, Ryan Fairbairn. Adam Dunn, big guy, isn't he?
He's huge. Fills that batter's box up, I'll tell you that. He can hit him a long ways.
Strike on him. Dunn 6'6", 275 pounds. And a fly ball to left field and fairly deep, and back to the track to make the catch. Raul Ibanez Jr. holding down at second, and Conine over at first. Second out here in the second inning. Encarnacion, who was a guy that was given a free pass in the first inning, is the hitter.
The Reds tonight, they are 2 for 5 with men in scoring position. Of course, won the big double with the bases loaded, drove in 3 of those runs. But on the season, they're just hitting .231 with men in scoring position.
And that's a can of corn out there in the shallow left field, and Ibanez is racing in to make the catch for finally the third out here in the second. But the Redlegs tack on 2 more and lead it 6-0. Well, Jose Guillen steps in for the Mariners to lead it off here in the second inning against Aaron Harang. Misses outside, ball 1 ball and no strikes. And that right down the middle. 89-mile-an-hour fastball. While the Pirates leading the Angels 1-0 in the third, the A's have been beaten by the Mets. And a little painting that time right on the outside corner.
According to Joe's tracer, it wasn't, and apparently Harang is getting a little bit different strike zone than Ryan is.
And that's way low and outside ball 3 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, if you want, I know that Joe's tracer thing is for a lot of people, they really enjoy watching that, seeing where it is, swing and a miss. That's not to say, that umpires don't miss calls, because they do. You know that. Obviously, he missed one right there. But it's interesting sometimes to see how far they miss a call, and that wasn't even close.
Well, I think that the interesting thing on it, too, is that thing, it doesn't move around. So when you see a pitch that maybe looks like it's 3-4 inches off the plate, one guy's doing it, and the other pitcher throws it in the same spot. One's a strike, one's a ball. I think it's good for that, too. You can just see the difference on the different pitches that come through there and what the strike zones are. Now, that being said, I can tell you, and I think it's human nature more than anything. If you have a pitcher like Aaron Harang today,
that's an easy one-hopper. Encarnacion, throw him out.
Who has now thrown 20 pitches in the ball game and 15 of them for strikes. He is around the strike zone. So those borderline pitches, the tough ones, because you're right, Dave. I mean, these guys are human beings that are standing back there. And sometimes, your razor edge off of the plate, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. And I think, personally, I think that he should. But it's certainly not going to help the cause of the other guy when he throws those same pitches, and especially since, guys have instant replay all over the ballpark, including the dugouts and back upstairs, when they find out that he maybe isn't getting the same pitches. That's when you're going to see a manager get tossed, is what we saw tonight. Mike Hargrove had seen enough. He just wants the same thing for his own guy, and I don't blame him.
That data, by the way, is provided by MLB.com. That you see in the strike zone. One and 2 on Richie Sexton. The Mariners in 2002 went back to play Cincinnati, the old stadium, and swept them in 3 games. Cincinnati's first visit here. 3-2 the count. Harang's got some great stuff tonight. He struck out 4 of the 6 men to face him. And as we go to the third inning of play, all Reds early, 6-0.
playing in that ball game and watching Jesse, he was having a great night. It could have been a tremendous night if that one goes over the fence, but watching Kenny, and that's something that I remember what you talked about. I mean, the catch was unbelievable, and really when you see the video, it doesn't do him justice as far as how far he actually ran to run that ball down and jump up on the wall and catch it. But the smile of him and just the joy that he had on his face of making that catch was something that I'll remember.
Jesse Barfield that night did hit home runs number 199 and 200 against the big unit. 1 and 2, one of the few hitters that Fairbairn has been ahead of in this ball game. This Gonzalez, who cleared off the bases with his double just over Ibanez in left field in the first inning. But another 3-2 count.
Saw a clip earlier. Junior hitting that home run, you making the call, his first home run. You were talking about little did we know at the time.
Yeah.
I think the people of New York had little to know what was there in store for the next 11 years. Every time he rolled into that place, murdered the Yankees, man.
He and Butte.
Yeah, Jake, yeah, no doubt about it.
Always tells the story how he always hated the Yankees because when his daddy played for the Yankees, Steinbrenner wouldn't let him in the clubhouse. They made him go out in the hallway.
Junior?
Yeah. And a change that time, and a pretty gutty pitch with the way he's been struggling with that to throw it 3-2. And he strikes out Alex Gonzalez for the second strikeout in the ball game for him. The third Mariners bobblehead giveaway of the season coming up next week. First 25,000 fans next Friday are going to take home a very special Kenji Jojima bobblehead when the Mariners host the Blue Jays. That pitch misses outside to Josh Hamilton. It's a 7:05 start. The Kenji bobble features a removable catcher's mask. Get your tickets now at mariners.com. Ball and a strike. Hamilton went after a high fastball and struck out to end a rather torturous inning, the first inning for Fairbairn. Again, 3-1. That's mighty close to being a fair ball, but it just did go off foul. Remember, all that ball has to do is go over the bag fair.
Yeah, that front corner. Well, he can land foul as long as it crosses over it.
Foul back and out of play. We have a huge house tonight. Very rarely do you see people on the landings out there beyond the seats in right field, jam-packed. You go around to your left, that's down low. And so Josh Hamilton, the recipient of another base on balls, number 5. We'll see how many folks we have here tonight to salute the return of Ken Griffey Jr. Stands out there packed. Goes straight up from that Fidelity sign. And to the right, you'll see what I mean. But this place has got one of the biggest crowds in its history here tonight, I think. And that pitch is swung on by Ross and hit to deep left field. And that baby is going to be out there in the bullpen. So another 2-run home run, and the rout is on against Ryan Fairbairn, as it is now 8-0 Cincinnati with only 1 out here in the 3rd. David Ross, his 10th home run of the year. One of the few laughers that Cincinnati has had this year. Yes, I know we're early.
You see it's right in the middle of the plate.
Think he's a low ball hitter?
I think maybe he is. This ball's crushed, dude. It's hitting the back of the bullpen. But Ryan, at this point, he's thrown 80 pitches. Close to it here in the 3rd inning.
Next one will be number 80. 1 home run. There's a line drive, 1 hopper. And Bloomquist will have the easy play. So 2 down here in the 3rd. Time now for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
And here it is. Can you name the 3 players to lead the Mariners in home runs during the junior era? It would be from 1989 to 1999. 3 players led the Mariners in home runs. Single season leaders. Breaking ball down low and inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Say Jay Buhner would be 1.
I know that he was 1.
And I pop up. Obviously, Junior is one of them. How about Jeffrey Leonard? The Hackman.
Yeah, why not? Sure. Would have been back when?
I've been 89,
90,
somewhere in there, yeah. He was really his first mentor on the ball club before he hooked up with Jay Buhner. And that's way back and out of play, and obviously a muted crowd. Yeah, Cincinnati running away 8-0 in the 3rd inning.
Kind of taking the air out of this thing. Well, it was a great start for the night.
And that ball's tattooed to deep right center field. And Jeffrey Leonard, he used to be out there. It's going to be Guillen watching that ball go back into the stands. And Ryan Fairbairn is just getting hammered here in this ball game. It is 9-0 Cincinnati as Brandon Phillips hits his 12th home run of the year. And the long ball hitting Reds are long ball hitting tonight. So that's going to be it, as he's going to be taken out of the ball game. Ryan Fairbairn, a tough night at the office here. Ends up throwing 85 pitches in 2 2/3 innings and leaves trailing 9-0. And here he is. He's 1 for 2. He's hit a hard ball by first, and then he had the ground ball to Sexton. That Sexton tried to turn into the double play. And Unieski threw it away. This is Jason Davis. So far this year, there's what he has done during his 22nd game since being acquired from the Cleveland Indians. Flash bulbs going off everywhere when Junior is up there. One ball and 1 strike. The count on here. And that's on the corner. This is one of Junior's favorite days to hit home runs, June the 22nd. He's hit 6. Only Mantle and Mays have hit more, and that only 1 more. 7 on June the 22nd. Jammed him that time. 2-2. 4 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 more here in the third for Cincinnati. So Junior is down on strikes, and that will do it here in the third. But a couple of bombs away here in the third, and as we go to the bottom half, it's a 9-0 Cincinnati lead. Now welcome back to Safeco Field as Jose Vidro steps in to lead it off for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the third inning, as Aaron Harang all of a sudden has found Christmas morning. A 9-0 lead in the third inning. Some pitchers will tell you it's tougher to pitch with that kind of a lead than a 1 or 2 run lead, but they take it any day.
I think they'll try it. No doubt about it.
And there's a shot for a base hit, the Mariners' first of the ball game. After 6 in a row retired by Aaron Harang. Jose Vidro is aboard, and Yuniesky Betancourt will be the hitter. Time for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Can you name the 3 players to lead the Mariners in home runs during the Junior era? And we were correct. Junior did it 8 seasons. Buhner did it twice in 91 and 95, and Jeffrey Leonard did it his rookie year in 1989. A strike on the inside corner to Yuniesky Betancourt. Double play ball. Taking it to the bag is Alex Gonzalez, and the throw to first. Meanwhile, the Pirates have gone up on the Angels 4-0 now in the third inning in Anaheim. Willie Blomquist taking over for Jose Lopez at second base tonight. And he's up there now for his first trip. And Willie, a line drive to right. The uncharging Ken Griffey Jr. to make the catch to retire the side. So we're 3 into it. It's all Cincinnati tonight, 9-0.
Due to time constraints, we'll fast forward to the bottom of the 4th inning.
As we get to the bottom of the 4th, and just the second time through the lineup here for the Mariners. Ichiro, line drive center field. That's a base hit. Just the second hit this evening by the Mariners. Well, with Ken Griffey Jr., there's always a what-if question. If he had stayed healthy and averaged 680 plate appearances per season with Cincinnati, maintained his Reds home run rate, he'd have 100, potentially 111 more home runs, and that career number to 693 at this age of 37. Well, a lot of what-ifs. Ichiro goes, and Beltre fouls it off. Ichiro with that base hit ups his current hitting streak to 17. His first hit against Harang. He's now 1 for 12. Here's the 0-1 to Beltre. It's in there for a strike. Ken Griffey Jr.'s return. Mike Hargrove tossed in the second inning. Ryan Fearbin only goes 2 2/3, 6 hits, 9 runs all earned. And Ken Griffey Jr. so far struck out and got a base hit up high and sent to right field. Easy play for Griffey. Ichiro having a fabulous year behind Maglio, Ordonez, Posada, Polanco, and Jeter. Good crew there. Ichiro leading the ball club in games played, at bats, runs, hits, total bases, triples, and stolen bases. 1 out, 1 on. Here's Raul Ibanez. For a guy who's 6'7", Aaron Harang's a short strider.
He's a control pitcher. He's not an overpowering guy.
No.
You look at his fastball, he's around 90 miles an hour.
I mean, he's not reaching out with that front leg, but so far, even when he was winding up. Ichiro will take second on the wild pitch.
No, but what he has been doing is throwing a lot of strikes. 39 pitches, 27 strikes tonight. And you look, at the Reds and all their struggles this year. He's the one guy. I mean, he's won a quarter of their games by himself.
Sure.
With 7 wins. He only had 28 coming into the ball game today.
Been dealing his last 5 games 2-0 with a 2.27 ERA, and opponents hitting just 2.06. But nice to see the ball yard absolutely filled here tonight.
I think it will be for the next 3 days.
Center field. Standing room only must have been at 50 deep out there. The upper reaches of the ballpark. If they had another 40,000, they could have sold it. And Raul Ibanez caught looking for the second time tonight.
I don't think he's very happy, especially if he sees Joe's tracer. He's going to see a couple of those pitches off the plate. But
the reason why Mike Hargrove's not in the game, he was Conine at plate back in the second inning. He was run. Next big series starts with the Red Sox. Got the best record in baseball. There's Guillen, the former Cincinnati Red, fouling one off. He struck out on a 3-2 pitch back in the second. Again, this is just the second time through the order. Rank set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 1-1 again. 2 outs here in the fourth. Marked contrast from the last 2 nights when the Mariner pitching staff hung up a bunch of zeros. Kyle Loesch tomorrow against Jared Washburn. Bronson Arroyo on Sunday against Miguel Batista. Jeff Weaver, 4-hit shutout a couple of nights ago, went the distance. Two and 2 to Jose. Cincinnati Reds, 13th in the National League in ERA, 4.73. Rain got him to chase. And he'll throw down first base to Conine. That'll do it for the Mariners here in the fourth. The Reds cruising 9-0. That's how you take care of a fastball. Nothing on it to go.
see how high that pitch was?
That's unbelievable. There's Trey. Left side of the screen. This one well hit to left. Ichiro's going to watch this one get out of town. 10-0 Cincinnati. Josh Hamilton with his 11th. What a power surge tonight by Cincinnati.
Well, Cincinnati had 100 home runs as a team coming into the ball game, and you know, my thought was, well, they play in a smaller ballpark, so that's pretty typical. But there's been nothing cheap about the home runs they've hit tonight.
Well, apologies to Ed McMahon. You're correct, sir. Wow. Here's David Ross. He went deep his last time up. 2-run shot in the third. His 10th. How about this? Tells you where the Mariner pitching is tonight. Every Reds player has reached base, and every player but Conine and Gonzalez has scored a run. And we're only in the 5th.
Funny game, isn't it? The way guys have thrown the ball the last couple of nights and just pitched fantastic, and tonight just wasn't their night. Ryan Fearban had his struggles. Davis has pitched fine since he's come on, just giving up the one solo homer, but tough night for Ryan.
2-2. You ever been in a game like this where there's so much focus on somebody from the other club, and you guys are just sort of to start the game, you're sort of like, oh yeah, they're playing tonight, but we want to see that guy.
No,
this one
I don't
popped
think
up.
So.
Kenji has a look at it, and it's got to play too. One out. I mean, this is a very rare occasion. And I was canvassing a lot of local writers and reporters the uniqueness of this situation, because Griffey still has game left. Well, and it's not like he's coming back and he's on his last leg.
Right. The only thing that I can even think of was when Cal Ripken was making his tour, and they had a big thing for him before the game here.
Right.
You know, while he was on the road, but
again, he didn't play here. He wasn't
exactly. So it was different. So I don't think I've ever seen it before. Yeah. Not that I can think of.
And I'm told, now I wasn't here, you may have been here, I understand that Randy Johnson didn't engender the feelings that Griffey did, so he didn't get this kind of response, and same for Alex Rodriguez.
Well, first, neither one of them were here as long as Junior was. I thought that the reception that Randy got, though, from what I remember, was a good one. Yeah, okay. It was good.
But this was overwhelming.
They didn't have the whole thing going on that they had today for Kenny.
2-1 to Hopper. He slices one to right. Yen's got to come in hard, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Dice K, Manny Ramirez, Big Papi. Yes, they're all headed this way beginning Monday. Tickets for this budding rivalry still available, folks, including a handful of good seats for the Wednesday afternoon game featuring Daisuke Matsusaka's first appearance here at Safeco Field. Log on to Mariners.com right now. Make plans to see the Mariners and the Bo Sox. Two-hole hitter Brendan Phillips, the Cincinnati second baseman. Hit by a pitch. Base hit the center, RBI, and he hit a home run. And don't forget, that game next Wednesday will be on TV. One and one to Phillips. We were talking about how strange and funny the game can be. You look at the NL Central, the numbers are bang.
Mm-hmm.
And all they've done is go 2-6, or 6-2 rather, against the M's.
Can't figure it out.
46,340. 6th largest crowd ever here at Safeco Field. Beautiful sight. The scoreboard, that's a whole nother question. How about Brandon Phillips? He's been on base all 4 plate appearances, and here comes the man of the day, Ken Griffey Jr. Got a base hit to right. Later scored, reached on a fielder's choice, and struck out. And that was Davis's out to end the 3rd inning after Fearban was lifted following the Phillips home run. (10-0) Cincinnati. Tried to make it 11. Griffey leads the ball club in on-base percentage. Flash bulbs are popping as that one misses outside. 1-1. One and one to Junior. High fastball in there for strike. 1-2. Fans came prepared tonight. Signs all over. Seems like everybody has a flash bulb with them. This reminds me of the opening tip of a Final Four, opening kickoff of a Super Bowl. Just like the song, Blinded by the Light.
There are a lot of cameras.
2-2. Popped it up, out of play.
You know what, Davis is going right at him, throwing him a lot of fastballs.
Still a gorgeous swing.
Just a little bit late on that fastball. You can see he's behind it.
2-2 to Jr. with 2 outs, runner on. 10-0 Cincinnati. Easily one of the most talked about regular season baseball games, got to be in the history of Seattle, Washington. 3-2 from Davis to Griffey. Popped out of play. Somebody's going to treasure that souvenir. Hey, here's a ball that Griffey fouled off in his return.
Keep in touch with a lot of stuff going on nationally as far as the sports world goes. What do you think this is doing across the country? You think it's a big deal back east and the middle part of the country?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, particularly from baseball fans, and I think even overall, it's one of these rare sporting moments. I mean, here's a guy he's player of the decade in the 90s. And here he is coming back to the place where he got it going. 3-2 pitch to Griffey. Popped it up right over our heads. Good pitch number 9 coming up. ESPN.com right now. If you want to talk about national coverage, I'm sure Fox Sports and other websites. This is item 1. Here's a 3-2 pitch again to Griffey. Struck him out. Well, Davis has K'd Griffey twice in his many plate appearances. Reds get another run. 10-0 Cincinnati. His Reds right now, as we go to the bottom of the 5th, have a commanding 10-0 lead with their best pitcher on the mound, Aaron Harang. Kenji Jojima, Richie Sexson, and Jose Vidro, 5, 6, and 7. One and one to Kenji Jojima. Kenji seeing Aaron Harang for the first time tonight. Harang's a good pitcher. 7-2, 3.888 ERA. 3.88 ERA. Cincinnati Red Ball Club's won just 28 games. Entering today tied with Texas for the fewest wins in Big League Baseball. 384 winning percentage is the worst in baseball.
Gives you an idea how good a year Aaron Harang is having, being 7-2 on a club that has really struggled this year. He's done a nice job for them. And I'll guarantee you this, he knows what to do with a 10-run lead. He's throwing a lot of strikes in this ball game, pretty much going after guys. See the walk there to Kenji, but for the most part, he's throwing nothing but strikes. That's his first walk of the ball game.
With no Harang on the mound, they want to cover your eyes at Reds games. 18-40 is the club record when Harang. Anybody but Harang is pitching.
Came out tonight swinging the bats pretty well.
Slow dribbler to third, and Encarnacion throws out Sexson. Harang moved over to cover third on smart play. One out, runner in second. Take a look at our Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Well, here we are at the end of the week. Start anew. Cincinnati finish out the series on Sunday. The Boston Red Sox come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Toronto will come in. And all of those games be on TV. Here's Jose Vidro. He got the first Mariners hit of the night. Leading off the third. Double play rub out. Ichiro has the other hit. 1 to Jose. Jose now 2 for 4 career against Orang. Got 3 hits on this homestand. 1-1 pitch. Went to San Diego State. He was a graphic design major. A few years in Oakland. Misses away. He was obtained from Oakland in a trade that also had Jose Guillen involved. Guillen going from the Reds to the A's. Kenji Judgment's at second. Fouled away by Vidro. 3-2.
You look at the Reds and their offense. Some of the players, you look at the guys they have in their lineup today, it's surprising to see how far down they are as far as average and on base percentage goes. 11th in average, 11th in on base percentage, 13th in ERA.
Take a look at our Panasonic pitch speed for this at bat. So 92. 92 has been his top out number all night, right?
Yeah.
3-2 pitch.
He's basically been 89, 90 in that area. You know, he has movement. He cuts the ball, sinks it, does a lot of different things.
(10-0) Cincinnati here at Safeco. First of 3 against the Reds. Dunn rifles one down the right field line. Fair ball into the corner. Conine touches second. He's going to be waved around. No throw. RBI double Adam Dunn. 11-1 Cincinnati. Dunn's 13th double, his 48th RBI.
He's right down the line. Doesn't really hit it hard. He kind of jams him a little bit, but he's a big, strong guy and is able to fight it off down the line. They get stuck in the corner. Conine scores easy. There's not even a play at the plate on him.
Here's Encarnacion. Popped it up. Beltre calls off. Betancourt calls off Beltre. Jason Davis came on in the third, replaced with Ryan Fearbin. Shot to right field, a base hit. They're going to hold Dunn at third. So runners at the corners, 1 out, a run in. Enjoy the game in climate control comfort from the luxury of a private suite at Safeco Field. A Safeco Field suite allows you to celebrate a special occasion with family and friends, reward employees, or entertain clients in style. A number of great locations and game dates still available for this 2007 season. 206-346-4001. Call during regular business hours. There's Josh Hamilton. Homer to right center field. Back in the 5th on a 1-0 pitch. Broken bat. Blomquist makes a play. Davis missed the bag. Everybody's safe. Another run in. Base hit. RBI for Hamilton. So Adam Dunn scores.
See, Jason shatters his bat. Richie's making an effort to dive for it. Willie actually catches that on the grass and tries to make a play. Throws a little bit high. Nice job by Jason to catch it.
Thankfully, it was not a collision between Davis and Hamilton.
You certainly don't want to see somebody get hurt in a game like this.
No. 2 runs in. It's 12-1 Cincinnati with 1 out here in the 6th. David Ross, 1 for 2, hit a 2-run homer in the third, scored a couple of runs. He walked. He was one of the 4 of the 5 walks that scored. Here's Ryan Fairbairn. Ryan Roland Smith just called up today, the Aussie. Look out. Chow Sung Beck. Chow Sung Beck put on the disabled list, so the Australian, 6'4" Ryan Roland Smith. Chance to get some action here. Swing and a miss.
Good night for him to get some work in. Ball game's 12-1. Just called up. Give him a chance to get out there, get his feet wet, throw some strikes, hopefully.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Up high. 2-2. Two and two to David Ross. Oh, that's hit a ton. Raul gives chase, but he'll see it leave the yard. A 3-run jack by David Ross. His 2nd homer of the night, his 5th RBI of the night. And the hits just keep on coming. 15-1 Cincinnati.
Pitch in the middle of the plate.
I'll have that to go as well. David Ross, 2 homers, 5 runs knocked in. He's the 9-hole hitter.
Look at the bottom.
Yeah, Josh
7, 8,
Hamilton.
9.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9. They have 10 runs knocked in and 7 runs scored. 7, 8, 9. Four home runs on the night to add to their total.
7th multiple home run game for David Ross. The 2 dingers tonight give him 11. 5 runs knocked in gives him 28. Back to the top of the order. Here's Norris Hopper. Up 5th, Sexton to Davis. 2 outs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Brandon Phillips. This one hit well, deep right field. Ichiro's going to watch that one get out of here. Holy mackerel. Brandon Phillips having a night. He's driven in 3. He's got 2 home runs. He scored 3 runs. Well, John McLaren is out, showing some mercy. He'll rescue Jason Davis. 16-1 Cincinnati. Those young ladies are probably too young, clearly too young to have seen Junior in his Seattle prime, but it's nice to have them here. And on what could be, look at these numbers here. This is what Ken Griffey Jr. did during his time here in Seattle, where he ranks in club standings. batter now is Ken Griffey Jr., and he'll face Ryan Roland Smith, the Australian, making his major league debut. Cincinnati's hit 5 home runs. Ryan Roland Smith, another strike. Making his major league debut and the first major leaguer with a hyphen in his last name. Big breaking ball in there for strike. 1-2. I think the fans would take some measure of satisfaction if Griffey left the yard here. I mean, the game's long over. Flash bulbs.
I think Ryan would take some satisfaction striking out a Hall of Famer his first time out there.
Looks like a disco in here every time Griffey cocks his bat. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. How about that? Griffey has struck out 3 consecutive at bats. That'll end the inning. The operative word, but Cincinnati puts 6 on the board here in the 6th to lead it 16-1. And Jerry Narron has taken Ken Griffey Jr. out of the game, and can't say that I blame him at 16-1. There's Beltre fouling off the first pitch. Beltre, Ibanez, and Guillen as Jeff Conine moves from first base to right field, and Scott Hatteberg is in at first base. There's Scott Hatteberg. Washington State Cougar, native of Yakima. (16-1). Cincinnati 4 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fifth, and 6 in the 6th. Breaking ball, hit foul.
I'd be willing to bet you that Junior is probably relieved to have this day over. It's been talked about for such a long time, and you know, he can see a calendar like anybody else, and I'm sure that people have been asking questions about it forever, and the fact that he didn't come in today and have his press conference and then going on the field. I know not many guys enjoy doing that. It's a tough thing to do, to go out there and speak to a crowd of people when you're not used to doing it, and he did a nice job of that today. But there's a lot. I mean, I guarantee you, just, you know, emotionally and mentally, it was a lot of stressful day for him, and he's probably relieved to have it over with now that he's out of this ball game.
He spoke from the heart. Didn't have anything written down, and it was well done, well executed. 16 runs on 14 hits, 1 error for Cincinnati, 1 run on 2 hits, and an error for the Mariners. Vidro and Ichiro with the only hits. Beltre popped it up. Hatteberg will get a play. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning here, first of 3 at Safeco. Jared Washburn will try to rebound tomorrow. He goes against Kyle Loesch. Miguel Batista Sunday against Bronson Arroyo. Tough night for Raul. He's struck out twice looking.
I bet the guys too, well, I'm sure they understand what was going on tonight. It's just, you know, it's a lot of stuff happening, and they'll probably be glad to just get back to business tomorrow and show up, take batting practice at the regular time, go about playing the games.
Hatteberg fields to Harang for the out. Stay tuned after the game to win 2 Mariners tickets to the June 29th Kenji Jojima's bobblehead night. Plus, you'll be the first to get a Kenji bobblehead. It's all after the game, only on FSN. Former Red Jose Guillen, he has struck out twice. Breaking ball in there for strike one. Well, you had a nice career in the bigs, Mike. What's your favorite blowout moment? When the good guys won, not when the other guys won.
Golly.
Give me something I went 5 for 6. I had 3 bombs. I had 8 ribbies.
No. You really don't remember those games, win or lose them. You kind of forget those.
Yeah, you remember the ones, late inning, maybe a base hit, or late inning, you got punched out looking on a terrible call or something.
I definitely have some memories of some of those. One of those, I'll tell you, my first week in the big leagues, I was with the Yankees. We traveled to Seattle in the Kingdome, and I was excited to be back home. And I can't remember how many innings it was, but it seemed like it was about 15 innings. And by the time the game was over, I was the only guy on either side that didn't sniff the field. I was sitting in the corner of the dugout and stayed there.
Mom, Dad, sorry for dragging you out here.
Exactly.
Inning over. 3 up, 3 down. And Guillen has a size 3 collar with 3 Ks tonight. All Cincinnati.
Due to time constraints, we'll skip ahead to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Jamie Burke leading off in the Mariners' 7th inning stretch, brought to you by John L. Scott Real Estate, with real estate specialists throughout Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Nobody knows the Northwest like John L. Scott. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, and the FSN crew here at Safeco. Ken Griffey Jr.'s return. Jr. out of the game. He struck out 3 times. Did get a base hit to right. So on the night, he was 1 for 5 with a run scored. But the damage done all up and down the Cincinnati order, particularly at the bottom. Shortstop Alex Gonzalez with a 3-run double. Couple of home runs by the 9-hole hitting catcher David Ross. Jamie Burke with his first at bat tonight. Jamie, 405 batting average, leads the club and has the highest slugging percentage at 524 and on base percentage at 468. Played now in his 20th game. Fouled away. Beauty of baseball, you get to do it again tomorrow. If this is a football game, you get torched by 8 touchdowns. You got a week to talk about it.
Yeah, tomorrow it's 0-0 again to start the ball game. You get a chance to win a series still. So I think you were talking about the Reds. You look up and down their lineup. Encarnacion's the only one without a hit in their lineup. Everybody scored a run. Guys have got RBIs, and we saw that from the Mariner offense for about a 3-week stretch there, where it seemed like we were filling those categories up every night.
Remember that one stretch 7, 8, 9 was doing all of these, man.
Tonight, the Mariners' turn. Just happens that way. But you're right. The good news is tomorrow they can start over again. New day. And this game won't matter whether they lost 4-1 or 16-1. It's not going to matter.
Jamie Burke gives it a ride. Center field. Hamilton's there for the out. Oakland did lose to the Mets 9-1. And you had the Angels losing as ready as Sean Green.
Yeah, it's 4-3 in the 8th now. The Angels are losing.
Everything has a chance to be a push. Ben Broussard making his first appearance. Harangue, that was his 93rd pitch. You can see why he's been so effective. Came in over his last 5 starts, 2-0 with a 2.27 ERA. Slapped the other way by Broussard. Handled easily by Hopper. 2 down. Get your hands on one of the more unique bobbleheads around. Third bobblehead in a series of 4 this season. Features Kenji Jojima in full catcher's gear, including a removable catcher's mask. Next Friday, June 29th, the first 25,000 fans will take Kenji home as the Mariners open a weekend series with the Blue Jays. For tickets, visit mariners.com. Vidro skies one short right field. Second baseman Brandon Phillips takes control, and Harangue breezes 3 up, 3 down.
Due to time constraints, we'll fast forward to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Dave Sims and Mike Flowers with you. 16-1 in emptying Safeco Field. There was a crowd here, 46,340, the 6th largest crowd ever in the building. And Griffey Jr. out of the game, and the big score has chased many, many home. Unieski Betancourt, Willie Bloomquist, and Jason Ellison. Boy, Aaron Harang has not had. He's thrown, what's that, 98th pitch coming up. And here he is working in the home 8th. Right at the third baseman, Encarnacion. 1 out. Take a look at tomorrow's starters in our Comcast pitching matchup. Kyle Loesch against Jared Washburn. Washburn under 500 now. Struggled his last few outings. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Then on Sunday, Bronson Arroyo, a disappointing 2-8 with a 5.24. Arroyo is the poster child of the 2007 Reds media guide. He was the Reds All-Star and Reds most outstanding pitcher. 0-2 to Willie Bloomquist.
Well, hopefully Jared can get the guys back on track tomorrow. The Reds have struggled against left-handed starters this year. They're 9-18 versus lefties. So hopefully Jared can come out and have a good ball game and get the guys back on track.
On the dirt, 1-2 to Willie Bloomquist. Jose Lopez getting the night off. He's the last available position player on the bench right now. Of course, we'll see him tomorrow. 1-2. Got a pretty nice breaking ball. All right.
He's had everything going tonight, really. His command has been very good. You haven't seen too many pitches in the middle of the plate.
2 hits for the Mariners. 1 in the 3rd by Vidro to lead off. He was taken out in a double play. And here's a bouncer to Gonzalez. 2 down here in the 8th. The other hit by Ichiro, leading off the 4th, and he was stranded there and moved to second on a wild pitch, and then there was a fly out, 2 strikeouts, and that inning was over. By that time, the game was already a blowout. It was 9-0 through 4. Jason Ellison. This will be his 28th at bat, appearing in just his 40th game. Popped up. Another quick inning for Harang. As the right fielder Conine takes control. 8 in the books. Cincinnati edging out the Mariners by. He has got some kind of highlight reel, and that has nothing to do with him swinging a bat here. There's a fly ball taken in by, again, off the bat of Adam Dunn. 1 out here in the 9th. Eric O'Flaherty, 5th pitcher tonight for the Mariners. Opponent's hitting under 200 against Eric. Pretty good strikeout walk ratio. Edwin Encarnacion. He's got a run scored, got a base hit, and reached on a catcher's interference. 1 for 5, 1 for 4. Mike Dosling warming up. He'll come in to close it down in the 9th. Set to center field with Jason Ellison. Eric O'Flaherty. That one picked up a win earlier this season. Is that the one? Was that the one? One pitch.
One pitch.
Yeah, picked up a win, and then JJ got him in the post game with the shaving cream pie in the face. Alex Gonzalez. 2 hits tonight, 3 runs knocked in, a run scored. Skied to center. Ellison's there. Quick inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Mike Gosling will be coming in for the Cincinnati Reds. He's not exhausted yet. Beltre to lead it off. Mike Gosling's the new pitcher. Beltre, Banez, and Guillen here in the 9th. About the Cincinnati Reds tonight. 26 runners, 16 hits, 5 home runs, 6 walks, 2 errors, 2 hit by a pitch. So on a 16-1 lead, Gosling comes in and works a 3-0 count to Beltre. Adrian wasn't sure, but that's ball 4. Chad Moeller is the new catcher for Cincinnati. Here's Raul Ibanez. Raul struck out twice looking and grounded out the first. Gosling looking for his first strike. There it is.
It's pretty much what all the guys in the field are thinking right now, too.
Dude,
on,
what are you?
Throw some strikes. Let's get out of here.
What are you doing? Into off the facing of the radio booth next door, right in front of Rick Riz and Dave Niehaus. One and 2 to Raul. Big breaker. As Beltre will take second. Defensive indifference. 2 and 2 to Raul. Raul Ibanez. He and Beltre tied the club lead, 17 doubles. Now time is called. Catcher called the timeout. Gosling, the new pitcher, is called up Sunday from Louisville. Tapper. And everybody's safe. Phillips. Be a base hit for Raul Ibanez. Beltre holds it second. Ibanez gets an infield hit.
Adrian held it second because I think he thought the pitcher was going to be able to catch it over the mound. 16-1, you don't want to make a mistake, but I think that actually helped Raul because Phillips looked like he tried to tag Adrian as he went back to second and ended up beating it out at first base. So good for Adrian. He got Raul a base hit on that.
95 play. Boy, they kept everything, huh? Right out of the time machine. Here's Guillen, takes a strike. 16-1. Cincinnati brought out the heavy artillery tonight. 9-0 through 3, and then they poured it on with a 6 spot in the 6th inning. Mike Gosling in to close it for Harang, and now he is 1 and 2 against Jose Guillen. Harang 104 pitches, 72 strikes tonight. Nobody out. First and second for the Mariners here at the bottom of the ninth. Down 16-1. Strike 3 called on Guillen. He's done. And he has the size for Collar. He has K'd 4 times. And Joe's tracer.
Well, we've seen that a number of times tonight.
And Mike Winters, that's one of the reasons why Mike Hargrove protested the call back in the second inning. That's one of the reasons why Mike is no longer with us this evening. Second time we see Jamie Burke tonight, flat out the center back in the 7th. 2-0 to Jamie Burke. Gosling appeared in the game Sunday against Texas. It's 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit ball, struck out 1. There's a strike. 2-1 to Jamie Burke. Got to be pretty fired up as Oregon State Beavers. In the College World Series finale, they play a series of best 2 out of 3 series against the Tar Heels of North Carolina. 3-1 to Burke. 1 out. Runners at first and second. On deck, Ben Broussard. Three and 2 to Jamie Burke. The 3-2 pitch. Lost it. So the bases are loaded. With 1 out here in the home ninth. Now Dick Pohl, the pitching coach, he may have a few words for Mr. Gosling, an original Mariner back in 1977. Dick Pohl, been a fine pitching coach around the major leagues. San Francisco, now at Cincinnati. Here's Broussard, little tapper. Phillips, Gonzalez, ball game. Well, Ken Griffey Jr. returns, and his ball club just unloaded on the Mariners tonight. 16-1 the final. 16 runs on 16 hits, 1 error, 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 errors for the Mariners.